This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
I'm Roby Brock. Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. It's Monday, December 12th. Here are your top stories of the day. Governor Asa Hutchinson today announced the signing of an MOU with Microsoft Corporation to implement a digital alliance intended to promote STEM education and economic development statewide. Under this relationship, Microsoft is committed to hosting a DigiCamp and YouthSpark live event for students and a BizSpark training session. In addition, Microsoft will work with the Arkansas Department of Education to pair computer science professionals with computer science teachers to teach high school computer science courses. Tom Hayes, president and soon-to-be CEO of Tyson Foods, says he's tasked with growing the business, and that will likely include acquisitions or investing in other companies. Hayes and Chief Financial Officer Dennis Leatherby spoke last week at the Bernstein Consumer Summit held in New York City. In addition to speaking about growth strategies, the two execs defended the company against the allegations of price collusion and pending antitrust class action lawsuits. Investors liked what they heard. Read more at talkbusiness.net. And CEOs report higher expectations for sales and hiring over the next 6 months, but lower expectations for capital investment. That's according to the Business Roundtable fourth quarter 2016 CEO Economic Outlook Survey. For the fifth straight year, CEOs cited regulation as the top cost pressure facing their companies. The group projected 2% GDP growth next year. And those are your top stories of the day. You can keep up with our business and political headlines each and every day throughout the day at talkbusiness.net. Now, when we come back, John Brummett with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette joins us. We're back right after this.
First Security is here. Only here. So that means we're here, here, and here. Even here. And definitely here. Because here is where we want to be for you. First Security Bank. Only in Arkansas.
Time now to talk politics with John Brummett. He joins us. He's with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Good to have you with us.
Always a pleasure.
Before we get into some of our political conversation, I'm a little concerned about you. Over the weekend,
Yes.
you tweeted that you were watching like a marathon of Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
And was this some sort of code for you were being held hostage somewhere?
No.
Or what was going on?
No, you didn't have to bring that up, but I brought it up, so I guess
You did. It was out there in the public domain.
I've been looking since the election for some respite from politics and from Trump, and so I started watching these hokey Hallmark Christmas movies, and they're like on Netflix or Amazon, where the one will end and they'll instantly start the next one. Mm-hmm. I found myself binge watching these Hallmark Christmas movies, which are formulaic and sweet, but not really me. So I kind of confessed that I did it. I'm over it now. Plus,
Okay.
I think I've seen them all.
It's worked.
Well,
I think if you've seen one, you've seen them all.
You
how
have.
That kind of works.
But in fact, what really broke me of it is that Trump Tower showed up in the background of one of them. So I couldn't get away from even then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what that was. Thank you for humiliating me as a Hallmark Christmas movie watcher.
You humiliated yourself. You had
Okay.
it out there on Twitter. Everybody that follows you read it. So,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it was one of your more retweeted tweets.
Oh yeah,
too,
and ridiculed. Yes.
Let's talk about. I'm going to keep you off of Trump for another block here, so you can.
Okay,
we're going to stick
Good.
with the state politics here.
Yes.
Democratic defections in the state legislature. We saw on Friday of last week our third Democratic legislator, Joe Jett of Success, Arkansas, switches to the Republican Party. This follows Jeff Wardlaw. It follows David Hillman. What does all of this change?
Well, it takes a Democratic Party condition in Arkansas that is pitiable and makes it even more pitiable, marginally more pitiable. They survived the election with, what, 26
Right.
Members of the House, and now with defections, it's gone down to 24.
Right.
They also had smartly consolidated their memberships to take control of the essential and vital and relevant Revenue and Tax Committee. Jett was one of those, so that is now 10 to 10, so they lost that. but they're still a player in tax. It's just a sign. It's almost overkill, really, as a signal of the total Republicanization of Arkansas. That people who just got elected, albeit without real opposition, it's 2-year terms. They're Democrats.
They're taking 3 of them were unopposed.
Right, but they were essentially elected because nobody ran against them back home. But just in acquiescence to this red tide, the crimson tide of Arkansas, you see these defections. I'm going to announce in my column tomorrow that I'm defecting from
you are?
From mildly center-left columnist to an arch-conservative columnist.
And what is your rationale for that?
I've just taken the temperature of my readership, and I think that's but to better reflect my readership, I think that's what I need to do.
So you're okay with party switching, is what you're saying?
No, I'm not okay with it. You understand sarcasm? I'm being sarcasm. But I do outline a 15-point agenda, arch-conservative agenda tomorrow. And I say that it's easier to be an arch-conservative than mildly center-left, because you really don't have to consider nuance or be thoughtful.
Don't spoil too much of the column.
No, well, you'll see, there are 15 points there that I think the readers will find interesting, if not infuriating.
I will look forward to that.
Well, good.
So, and I know our viewers will.
Right.
All right, let's take a quick commercial break. We will come back and talk Trump right after this word from our sponsors.
Okay.
All right, we're back with more right after this.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
Circuits turn on the lights by making a connection, by closing the loop. At Entergy, we believe our economy is circular too. What you put in comes back. So we invest billions in new infrastructure, which helps attract new industry, which helps create new jobs. We partner with local communities to electrify the economy. And together, we power life. Entergy.
And welcome back. I'm with John Brummett from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. All right, let's turn our attention to national, quite frankly, international politics. The Russians are meddling in American politics. We knew this back during the campaign.
Right.
But now there are new reports, media reports of internal strife among intelligence agencies that the Russians were not only meddling in the elections, but they were meddling in the elections to influence its outcome in favor of Donald Trump, which I kind of felt that way beforehand too, but there seems to be something more conclusive in that area. Am I interpreting all this correctly?
Maybe too much, from my view. I think it's important. This is like serious business, Roby. The Russians tampering in our elections, hacking our political groups, and taking a role in trying to push in one direction and another our race for president. I am not ready to agree with what the Washington Post and New York Times say that the CIA has said to members of Congress, which is that they have concluded on circumstantial evidence that the Russians were actively trying to elect Trump. I think the Russians are as smart as the rest of us, or as it turns out, as wrong as the rest of us, and they figured Hillary Clinton was going to win. I think what they started out to do was just send a signal to the nation and the world of their cyber strength, and also to weaken Clinton, to sort of marginalize her, because she's no friend or admirer of the Putin regime. I'm not yet ready to buy into this notion that the Russians effectively tried to elect Trump. That would, but the WikiLeaks didn't hurt. You know, that's not what beat her. 10 or 12 things beat her. Those are one of them. But even at its most understated, which I've tried to do, it's worthy of major congressional investigation. We need to find out what did they do, why did they do it, and what can we do about it? Because this is kind of, again, understatement is important, but it's cyber aggression at the very least, and having to do with our sovereign state. So it's a big, big deal.
There does seem to be bipartisan support that has kind of been rolling over the weekend, and certainly here on Monday we've seen a lot more both Democratic and Republican congressional leaders saying it's time to get to the bottom of this. That is a good sign.
That is a good sign. It must be mentioned that part of the story is that confronted with this news, whether it's verified or not, our president-elect attacked our CIA and our intelligence gathering apparatus and defended Russia. That's what he did. And that's odd. And we need to know what that's all about too. And we need to a complete and thorough airing of this in every respect. It may just be that Donald Trump believes a stronger leadership style and is better for him, and that Russia could be a good ally of us in certain interests, such as regarding ISIS. It may be nothing more than that, and Russia messed with us a little bit. But we need to find out all of that. It's very, very important. Do
you think there's any chance that this undermines the Electoral College? Because there are Democratic Electoral College participants who are saying we want intelligence briefings on this before we have to cast our final votes. And there's been one Republican that has signed on to that letter too, albeit it is someone who is anti-Trump in the Republican camp. Do you think there's any possibility that it changes or sways the Electoral College formality?
I don't. I would not be surprised to see a few what they're called faithless electors, some people who, somebody who simply said, based on this, I can't cast a vote for Trump without further information. But I think we might have seen one or two of those before. Mm-hmm. He's got a healthy Electoral College lead. The Electoral College is our constitutional process. He won it fair and square, albeit with 3 million fewer popular votes than she got. I can't see that it's going to make a significant, is going to amount to a significant undermining of the Electoral College. Just a more interesting, it's usually ritualistic. This one will bear watching more as ritual.
We might actually report on this one.
Maybe,
so.
maybe.
All right, I'm going to give you one Trump freebie before we go here. Any topic that you want to talk about? Trump's been provoking China. He has been tweeting about certain corporations, which has caused their stocks to plummet around. He has made a couple of cabinet picks and floated a couple of cabinet picks. Pick one that you want to end this conversation on.
I just believe that we're seeing two things. I can't. Let me synopsize.
Okay.
Put them all together in a synopsis. The Trump president transition has been somewhat successful in a conventional way. He's made some conventional choices. He seems at times to be setting up a run-of-the-mill right-wing government, which that's the party he represents. And I think he's perfectly intelligent enough to do the job. The issue with him for me all during the campaign and now is whether he simply has the temperament to give us comfort in the job. Mm-hmm. That's what it all comes down to. And his tweeting reflects that he doesn't give us that comfort. When he goes on television over the weekend and says he doesn't need to get an intelligence briefing every day, he's a smart guy. He can remember what they said the day before. This arrogance, megalomania, these are the things that bear watching. It's not who's the Secretary of Defense. It's not the conservative bent of the government. It's not whether we go to Medicaid block grants or Medicare voucher. Those are policy things that are within the reasonable discussion of American public life. Is this guy steady enough, reasonable enough to do the job?
We're going to find out.
I guess so.
All right. He's John Brummett with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. As always, good to be with you.
Thank you.
All right. We're back with more right after this.
Arkansas Electric Cooperative Corporation provides electric energy across 2/3 of Arkansas. This is an exciting time in our energy history, with incredible progress being made in renewable energy and storage technologies. As our energy portfolio continues to diversify, we'll maintain an all-the-above strategy to provide reliable and affordable electricity. Ever since the first light bulbs were placed in our members' homes, the electric cooperatives have been the solutions provider for our members. and we want to continue that well into the future.
So much of what Arkansas state employees do goes unnoticed, yet they have a positive impact on our citizens each and every day. The Arkansas State Employees Association recognizes individuals for excellence in the workplace and leadership in their communities. Congratulations to Deanna O'Malley of Texarkana, the Outstanding State Employee of 2016. We'd like to say thank you to all state employees for all of your hard work and dedication.
Each day, every week, we are covering tourism news in Arkansas from a business and political perspective. Through our website at talkbusiness.net, you can keep up with tourism and heritage and hospitality news at our tourism microsite. Just go down to the bottom half of our homepage at talkbusiness.net and you'll find all of our microsites down there. Here's what's happening in tourism in Arkansas. Young people travel so they can be exposed to genuine cultural, social, and culinary experiences, according to a study released last week by the global travel industry news source eTurbo News. The survey looked at 5,000 individuals between the ages of 18 and 35 from throughout the world, showed that more than half of young people want to travel so they can be exposed to different cultures and appreciate the natural beauty of the world. 75% said that their travel decisions were made based on the potential for social experiences. More than 1,400 acres of land in Newton County within the Buffalo River watershed will be placed in conservation, thanks to the family of a doctor from Michigan who traveled Arkansas in the 1950s as a public health physician. The Nature Conservancy of Arkansas, a nonprofit that works to protect natural habitats and wildlife in Arkansas, recently paid $700,000 for 1,425 forested acres on a mountain west of Mount Judy along Big Creek, which flows into the Buffalo River. The Council Rock Forest Preserve is the culmination of years of property acquisition by Dr. Johann and Frances Elliott. The Arkansas Arts Center in Little Rock has selected Studio Gang of Chicago and New York City as the architect for its planned expansion and renovation, estimated to cost $46 million. The Arts Center plans to add 40,000 square feet of space during the remodel, and the $46 million estimated cost includes the price of new construction, renovations, and 35,000 square feet of landscaping. Again, you can keep up with all of that tourism news through our tourism microsite, brought to you in part by the Arkansas Department of Parks and Tourism and the Department of Arkansas Heritage. We appreciate their support on that. That is all for today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. Thanks for watching. See you next time.